It will be 30 points. I am going to tell you exactly the types of questions that you have on the test. Numbers 1 through 5 are going to look just like the numbers 1 through 5 on the practice test, or the practice that I gave you guys on Friday, as well as the extra practice that is on Math Space. So those of you guys that have not completed the extra practice or the study guide on Math Space, it's up and it looks just like this. So the first one says, Neil earned $764 in 4 hours. What is the rate he earns per hour? This is what we refer to as a unit rate. You will be allowed to use a calculator. However, you must show proportions or your work in order to get credit for it. So in this case, what I would expect for you to show in terms of work would be that $764 in 4 hours is not a unit rate, so it means I have to divide. So then you would actually write out 764 divided by 4, which gives you 191. That's $191 per hour. So this one would be 28 kilometers in 7 hours, which is a division, 28 divided by 7, which is 4 kilometers per hour. That's the speed. When they ask you for the speed, it's like asking you what's the unit rate. Han earned $368 in 4 hours. What is the rate he earns per hour? Well, I know that the ratio or the rate would be 368 in 4 hours.
92.
The unit rate is, do the division, $92 per hour. This is also a pretty straightforward one. He bought 5 stamps for $15. What is the price for 1 stamp? $3. Because 3 times 5 is 15. How much would it cost him if he only wants to buy 2 stamps?
Multiply that by 6.
$6. Very good. Yes. Number 5 is 125 miles in 5 hours an example of a unit rate?
No.
Why not?
Oh, why not? Just memorize them.
This is not a unit rate because it says 125 miles in 5 hours, and unit rate by definition means you want it for 1 hour. So this one is not a unit rate, but if I would have shown you something like this, then it would have been a unit rate. 125 miles. If it was in 1 hour, then it would be a unit rate. The denominator has to be 1 in order for it to be a unit rate. In this case, it is not. Okay, let's go to the next one. Buzz bought 9 magazines for $72. What is the price for 1 magazine?
9.
$8.
Wait.
$8.
Yeah, it is 8.
So if I know that $72 is for 9 magazines, that means it's really 8 for 1. How much does it cost him if he wants to buy 6 magazines?
48.
6 times 8 is 48. Very straightforward. There's not a trick to it. It's just understanding how to figure out how much it costs for one, and then how to figure out how much all the other ones would be. Okay, let's look at the next one. Buzz can wash 12 cars in 72 minutes. How long does it take him to wash 1 car?
7 minutes.
6 minutes. If we have 72 minutes is to 12 cars, you're going to just divide, and you get 6 minutes per car. How about 40 cars? How much is it going to?
40.
Yeah, 6 times 40 is 240 minutes. Please remember your labels so that we know that you're talking about minutes and not cars.
Well,
Number 8. Is this a proportion?
no.
Why is it not a proportion?
3 can't go in
It's not showing.
Well, how do we tell if something's a proportion?
It's not equal.
Its cross products are equal. Make sure you remember that. The cross products are equal. 10 times 16 is 160. Is that equal to 3 times 48? No, it's not. 8 times 3 is 24. It ended at 4 already, so I already know that it doesn't have it. So in this case, it would be false. But for the sake of the test, if I was to give you something like, make sure you know, if it was like 16 nurses, 3 doctors, is equal to, if I showed you this one, you would say this one would be, for more than one reason, because 16 times 3 and 3 times 3 work out that way, but also because when you cross multiply, 3 times 48 is 144, and 16 times 9 is also 144. So in this case, it would be true. Are these in proportion?
Yeah.
Yes, because once more, you could say 4 times 2 gave you 8 and 7 times 2 gave you 14. Or you can look at it and go, well, 4 times 14 is 56 and 7 times 8 is 56. So yes, it's in proportion. All right, number 10. Number 10 on the test is different than number 10 in math space. As you could see, I whited out the test part or the question. Math space is much more complex. It says like a certain amount of workers build a certain amount of bookcases in minutes. This that you see here is the one that's going to be like the test. You're not going to have the crazy one that is more Algebra 1 based. It says workers can build 9 bookcases in 10 minutes. So your proportion would be 9 bookcases is related to 10 minutes in the same way as how long does it take to build 12 bookcases? 12 books is to how many minutes? Even if you don't use the bridge map, that's what the proportion would look like. We know that when things are in proportion, their cross products are equal. So you're going to multiply 9 times x and get 9x. That is equal to 10 times 12, which is 120. What do I do now? Divide by 9. X is going to give you, and then I'm going to use my calculator in this case because you're going to be able to use it. But I will do it the long way. It's actually 13.3 repeating minutes. Or on the test, it will actually go in evenly. This is really the same thing as 13 1/3 of a minute. Your answer will be an actual whole number, so you're not going to have to worry about that part. Eileen can wash 3 plates in 15 minutes and 6 carrots in 18 minutes. So it's 2 totally separate things. How long does it take to wash 1 plate?
5 minutes.
Yeah, it takes 5 minutes to wash 1 plate. How long does it take to grate 1 carrot?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. How long would it take her to wash 6 plates and grate 14 carrots? Well, how long is it going to...
30 minutes.
It's going to take her 30 minutes for 6 plates, correct? And what about the 14 carrots?
70.
Okay. So 14 carrots, if each carrot is 3 minutes, 14 times 3 is 42 minutes. If it takes 14 carrots, 42 minutes, and 6 plates, 30 minutes, altogether, that's 72 minutes. But 72 minutes is made up of a whole hour, because that's 60 minutes, and 12 minutes. So number 12 is still unit rate proportion. James bought 19 magazines for $266. What is the price for 1 magazine? What do I do? Divide, yeah. So if it takes $266 for 19. When you do the long division, you get
14.
$14 per magazine. How much does it cost if he wants 2 magazines?
28.
$28. On a map, 5 centimeters represents a distance of 30 kilometers. We can write this ratio in simplified form. Okay, so this is the one that I want to make sure that you guys are understanding, because it is the one that caused a little bit of issue, I think, on the math space. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to magnify that so you could see it better. And I want you to see how we work this out. When you see the words simplified ratio, when you see the word simplified form or simplified ratio, they want one of the small units, so in this case it's centimeters, is to how many centimeters? It's a centimeter to centimeter ratio. So your job is to first figure out what the current ratio is. We know 5 centimeters is related to 30 kilo or kilometers, correct? That we can definitely figure out is really 1 centimeter to 6 kilometers, correct? Does everybody see how I got that? If we have 5 centimeters to 30 kilometers, that's the same thing as 1 centimeter for 6 kilometers. We just simplified the ratio, right? Simplified ratio means they want it centimeters to centimeters. So that means I need to change kilometers to centimeters. That's the metric system. King Hector dies by drinking chocolate milk. You're changing kilometers. Oh, how many spaces you move over? Yes, I thought you were saying, yeah. From kilo to centi, you're moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. And the 6 has a decimal point at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right means you're adding 5 zeros. So your simplified ratio is 1 to 600,000. So, once more, the 5 centimeters is represented to the 30 kilometers as 9 centimeters of map, because that's what the map is related to how much, my unknown, cross multiply, 5 times A is 5A. That's equal to 30 times 9, which is 270. You divide by 5, and you get that A is 54, and they're asking kilometers, so make sure you write your units. This one is 54 kilometers. Okay. Now it wants to know, find the map distance in centimeters. So now they're wanting centimeters. That represents an actual distance of 18 kilometers. Again, use the data that you were given. 5 centimeters of the map is related to 30 kilometers in real life. That's the given information. In the same way that they want to know what is the map distance, so that's my unknown, when the actual distance is 18 kilometers. Centimeters is to centimeters as, this is also centimeters because they want centimeters, is to kilometers. Centimeters is to kilometers is centimeters is to kilometers. Cross multiply. 30 times my unknown, and you could use any letter. You don't have to use M. You could have said X, you could have said N, you could have whatever. That's equal to 18 times 5, 90.
Says 3.
Yep. So your map is 3 centimeters. Find the map distance in centimeters. So your answer is centimeters. So it's going to be important for you to read the question and make sure you understand what it's asking. Here it's asking me for the actual distance in kilometers. Letter C is asking me for the map distance in centimeters. All right. Let's look at the next one. Totally different question, number 14. Nothing to do with what we just did. So don't use the 5 centimeters to 30 because it's a totally different question. Find the distance between 2 lakes as shown on a map. All right, so they're telling us that there's a map and 2 lakes are the scale. 1 centimeter represents 3 kilometers. The actual distance is 150 kilometers. So they want to know what is the distance on the map. You would say the distance on the map of 1 centimeter is related to the 3 kilometers in the same way that it's telling me that the actual distance is 150. That means 150 kilometers goes down here.
It's 50.
And they want to know what is the map distance. So let's say X. So the map, the map is to the actual as the map is to the actual. Cross multiply, you get 3x is equal to 150. Yes, you divide by 3 and you get 50. 50 what? Centimeters, yes. Because they're asking for the map distance, not the actual distance. 15, 16, and 17 tell us that the quantities are in proportion and they ask us to find the missing number. Basically, you could either look for equivalency in fractions and try to figure out what you did to the numerator and do the same thing to the denominator and vice versa, or you could do the cross products, right? In this case, if you want to say that this is X, you know they are in proportion, so that means they're equal. You can do 7x is equal to, and 28 times 4 is 2, and then divide, and you get x is equal to 16. Or, as many of you guys saw, the much easier way of doing it, because it's a straight equivalency, I did 7 multiplied by 4 in this direction to get 28. So then you do 4 multiplied by 4 to get 16. All right. These two quantities are in proportion. Find the missing value. Again, you could either cross multiply or you can look at it and go, oh, 25 divided by 5 gave me 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. The answer is 3.
Is that showing your work?
Yes, this is showing your work if you do this part here. 16 over what is the same as 8/9? Once more, you could do the cross multiplication, but there's no need to worry and do the cross multiplication if you can visually see that it's an easy division problem. You divided 16 by 2 and it gave you 8. What number divided by 2 gives you 9? 18. Same concept. What fraction is 7 really written? Yeah, 7 over 1. So this is your unknown quantity. You're going to cross multiply and you're going to get x times 1 is x is equal to 154. Because 22 times 7 is 154. Okay, the next one. Again, this guy is also 7 over 1. He's my unknown.
Are you just times 7 times 13?
Yep. N is equal to 13 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, 2, 7 times 1 is 7, and 2 is 91. Excellent. All right, this one's like a freebie. If anybody gets this one wrong, I'm going to be quite sad. To make 2 cups of rice, Yuri needs 5 cups of water. To make 8 cups of rice, he needs 20 cups of water. Write this as a proportion. 2 cups of rice is related to 5 cups of water, as 8 cups of rice is related to 20 cups of water. That's it. Please don't get that one wrong. I will be forever sad. That, my friends, is the whole test. It is 30 points. Each question is worth a different quantity, just so you know.